So when we did contour line, basically we're doing a practice for silhouettes, even though we did not know it. So I'm going to find an image to work off of. And in this case, I'll use the girl with the ring in her nose and the guitar. So what I'm going to do to create this silhouette is I'm basically going to do a contour line. I'm going to draw around the shape. So I'm going to go real slow, start looking at her hairline. And in this case, since we're not really fighting for a non-broken contour line, because we can always go back and fix it, if you need to stop or lift your pencil off the paper, you are more than welcome to do so. In fact, I'm even going to steal part of my sighting skill to get this neck going in the right angle. There's all kinds of fingers and stuff here that I forgot. Oh, I forgot them because my hand wasn't quite there yet. Oops. And this is why drawing is better than tattooing. All right, and then her knee sticks out. And then the guitar goes down here, and the other knee sticks out. And it's a little sloppy, but on the upside, I can go back and erase if I need to. All right. And I end up of a silhouette of this girl holding the guitar. A few holes here in between the tuning keys, and it's looking pretty good. Whoops, I got a couple of people that still need to be let in. There's more, and there's her again. All right, so here's my outline of my girl. Now, in our silhouettes, we want to put something in the background that tells us where she is. And you can look up a picture of something you can do the outline to, or you can make up something if you're good at that kind of stuff. Little branch that way. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my gosh. I kind of went out of control on that one, didn't I? All right. So where does it look like she's at? I'll come over here to my chat. Where does that girl look like she's hanging out in? Anybody? Object on the left should be in her room. All right, cool. So, I mean, that's really all the information I had to add to that to make that a silhouette. In her house, in her room. There's a window. There's a tree hanging outside the window. All I have to do at this point is start to shade that stuff in. So, I take my pencil after I've established my contour outline. And I just start to shade it in. Now, if you have a big fat marker at home, and hopefully it's black, I don't need to see a yellow silhouette. That's my highlighter. Yeah, technically it's a marker. But yellow silhouettes seem ridiculous. You just gotta go back and shade the sucker in. And I'm trying to be a little controlled here, but honestly, I think you guys can figure out how to shade something in. You can take the edge of your pencil if you want. If you're working with a marker, start in the middle of your object, go out to the edges. Now the problem is Sharpies, except for the writing Sharpies, bleed. So when you stop drawing, all of a sudden it bleeds over to the rest of the paper. And you really don't want that. So what you'll do is if you're using a marker to fill in your silhouette, I'd start in the middle. I'd come up to a spot where I felt safe. you know, that wouldn't bleed over and screw up my drawing, then I grab a smaller marker and I do the edge work from there. And I have to do that on my own stuff because so much of my stuff is illustration. And then I decide, you know, shade in everything else that I need to shade in. Maybe I'll even shade in this and do it as a reverse. All right? But that would all become shaded and you'd be done. Now, there's a separate way to do this. That was the contour line way. The other way is not from the right side of your brain. It's from everything we've been learning about comic books. And you will do, in this case, a figure. And this figure is going to be easier than most. And I've gotten to the part with my can of the human body that I tend to go with just shapes because my proportion's pretty decent after this many years. Bum, ba, bum. Oh no, it's the Captain Morgan's pose. Well, it is Friday. And since it's Captain Morgan, I'm going to put a palm tree. Smaller, smaller. Big funky palm tree leaves. They kind of split up like a feather would. If you're having a hard time drawing a palm leaf because you don't want to do those angles, just do a broken line. Do your angles when you're done drawing the broken line. Now, the problem is if I put this behind my guy, then I have to do a line around him. Because if I'm going to shade in that tree, I want that head to stand out. The problem is with this guy at this moment is he's got no details. He's kind of blank. So if I'm going to make a pirate out of him, maybe I'll give him some pirate boots. All right. Maybe I'll give him a sword. Maybe I'll have some pirate gloves. Some kind of shirt with a ruffly collar. All right. Ears. Maybe I'd give him a hat. I don't know. But the thing is, the details aren't so much important because what you're going to do, as long as you have that outline, you're just going to come back and shade that sucker in. Martini in his hand or not. Or chalice. Maybe he found the Holy Grail. And it's really the outline that becomes important for this. Now, some of you are like, oh, my hand hurts when I shade. Draw smaller. You'll have less to shade. All right. So the theory is I would shade him all in, preferably neater than I'm doing right now. And I do the same with my tree. And as far as a background, people asked yesterday, they're like, do I have to do a color background? Well, no. Most comic book panels that are black and white are just that. They're black and white. They don't necessarily have to have that extraordinary, brilliant moonrise or the sunset or any of that stuff. But if you want her to, or want your character to have those things, you can totally do that. If you have the supplies, like this is part of my anger at the district right now, because we could, if you had markers, you would have a fat marker, you would have a skinny marker. It would take you way less time to fill this guy in. It would look sharper, it would look cleaner. You could do a watercolor background and we'd all be like, dang, that's sweet. As it is, we're going, oh yeah, that's a silhouette. So the excitement level tends to die with the lack of supplies that you have. That's why we're doing a lot of comic cartoon stuff. I am hoping in your mind that your ideas are stimulating something, that you're creating something that you can daydream about when things get boring, because 2020 is really boring. And if you can think about those things, maybe, just maybe, you'll come up with a story or an idea that no one else has ever thought of before, and you will use it to make a career for yourself. I mean, even George Lucas had a time when he was not the Star Wars guy. And then he turned around and sold all of his ideas for $40 billion. That's a billion. You know how much is in a billion? It's 1,000 millions. What kind of car could you buy with that? Any car. You could have a car built from scratch. You want to tell somebody, make me custom tires. What do you want them to look like? Here's a drawing. They would be like, okay. That's how much money that is. Uh, that's it, man. Go online, look up the term silhouette, look up the term superhero silhouette. If your character that you've created is a lot like Thor, use a Thor pose. Take the little wings off his helmet. Maybe instead of a hammer in his hand, he's got a fork. I don't know. He's your character. Don't blame me. You can totally make the eyes glow. For that person who asked that question, make the eyes glow. Heck, you can make the mouth glow. If you ever looked up the demon Etrigan, he's a DC comic book character. His eyes would glow, his mouth would glow because his belly was full of fire. Real simple to draw him, real cool looking effect. All right. Okay. That's it for today. Have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble. If you can't stay out of trouble, don't get caught. Bye.